What's up? Um, I'm a little disappointed in the majority of y'all who commented on the Charlamagne situation. I'm a little disappointed. I gotta admit, it just took me for a blow because if you believe Charlamagne, I'm cool with that. If you said, "Hey, I believe what he said. I believe his side of the story," that's fine. I'm not telling you to pick a side in the situation whatsoever. I'm not saying who do you think who telling the truth, him or her? I'm giving you what has been presented, and you guys want to come at Star, myself, and anybody who's talking about the facts of what her side of the story is. Now, one thing I have done is I have told both sides of the story. I told you what their lawyers prepared and what they said, and we've talked about things you've actually heard. Charlemagne laugh and give you out of his own mouth details on what he did to a woman, maybe if this woman or another woman, brags about roofing her and drugging her. Like, what was the point of drugging her? And one of the guys who's interviewing him or that he's talking to is saying, why would you drug her if she's already was willing to have sex with you? I'm just into some freaky stuff, man. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you go down there to pick up something to make them droggy, more suggestive, pass it out? So even if you don't believe her story or you believe his story, believe that. So you must believe when he's telling you that he's drugged a woman before. And if you have a problem, if you don't have a problem with that, and you just then I've lost all respect for you as a human being. So your comment, it just doesn't make any sense. You and Star want to tear a black man down. A man who has admittedly told you he drugged a woman out of his own mouth. So forget the case. Forget everything. Go by what he just told you. How he feels about rape and everything included. He told you all of this out of his own mouth. And you still are finding ways to give him a pass. Now, Star is gonna be a little bit more abrasive with y'all. That's the hater. That's what he's gonna do. He gonna give it to you the whole smear. You getting the whole smear. He embraces it. But see, this is called the drug of fame. This is what the drug of fame brings. You know what I'm saying? The drug of fame is what you see before you. It doesn't just affect the person that's famous. It affects the people that root for them, that like them. They will find any excuse, any, to give them a pass just because they're famous. Seriously. You guys are finding any way to exonerate Charlamagne at every turn. Star is just bullying him. So Charlamagne, who bullies everyone that comes on his show, he bullied Little Mama. Tried to bully Amara La Negra on the show. Tried to bully her and tell her that it was all a part of her imagination when she's telling him about colorism from where she's from. He tries to bully all women. So before all this was out, people questioned what problem does he have against black women? Monique is like, we got to explain people like you where I'm at. It's a shame, but we got to explain people like you. So a lot of questions has been brought to the table that don't make sense. He act like he never knew this girl. All of his, I went down to the precinct to turn myself in. All of these things were things that he told you out of his own mouth. And then some idiot say, well, that's what he told on the show, but we don't know what he told the police officer when he went down to the station. Then don't forget, he took a DNA test and he passed. That exonerated him for everything. It didn't say that in the paperwork. They said she was unwilling to cooperate. The person who was calling out rape Jessica was unwilling to cooperate. Her mother did not want her to go through the stress of going through a trial. At 15, they just moved away and got away from the situation. She was 15. She wasn't in any state of mind to go on a trial. She was traumatized by the incident at the time. So she was not able to go to trial. It does not say DNA exonerated him. And was they taking DNA in 2001? You see what I'm saying? You guys just go off what he told you and you took it as face value and fact. There's actual paperwork. Have you guys even looked at the paperwork? Have you read it? Have you read any of it? Have you heard her tell you? No, you haven't heard her side of the story. You don't want to. You just want to believe Charlamagne. People is like, stop being a detective. How am I being a detective? The case is already over. They've already closed this case. I'm telling you about what was already done and said. This isn't an open investigation that I'm altering. How about this? Y'all stop being a sadistic human being. Because if Charlamagne was to do this to somebody you knew, you wouldn't feel the same way now, would you? If he did to somebody you love what he claimed he done in a video, since you believe everything Charlamagne tells you, then you believe that he drugged a woman and had sex with her like he bragged about on the show out of his mouth. Not saying that person was Jessica. We don't know who that person was. But we know he did that to another human being if it wasn't her, because he just told you he did out his own mouth. And they're trying to tell him, even on the show, dude, that's rape. Why would you give somebody, what in your mind would make you give that to a woman to have sex with her? If she's already agreed. And then he brags and is like, oh, she wakes up and says, oh, well, I'm glad it was you. We don't even know if she said that. She probably didn't know they even had sex. That's a very scary thing for a human being to come on a radio show and brag about doing something like that to another female. And he says it as if the tone is like, this is his norm. Like he's done this before numerous times. So it would not surprise me if more people come out of the woodwork and say, this happened to me. Then what would you say? Since you want to ignore everything that has come out as a witch hunt and everybody's bullying people, When Charlamagne has bullied everybody, no one complains. It's all fun and games when he's bullying people, but when it's a serious matter and he's the one now, all of a sudden he's quiet as a church mouse and he's running behind lawyers and making statements. Why don't he provide paperwork to say, hey, here's some paperwork that I given DNA. Here's the paperwork that says I was exonerated because it came back. I didn't have any evidence on me whatsoever. And this is why I'm exonerated. The charges don't say that. It says she did not cooperate with the investigation. The mother made that decision. And if you go to blast.com, they interview with the mom and she tells why she did it and they just moved away. So no, I don't believe Star is trying to take down Charlamagne. I don't believe he's bullying Charlamagne. I'm not bullying Charlamagne. I'm going over what has already been presented. You've seen it, I've seen it. So there it is. Now, what are we going to do about it? Because see, now the cat's already out of the bag. This guy has tweeted on Twitter about drugging women. I'm not saying go to jail, Charlamagne. I'm saying let the girl have her say in court if that's what she wants. They already said they're not going to reopen the case. Fine. She could probably have to go to Supreme Court to get them to open it. But I understand why they wouldn't want to open it because it's almost like what could they do at this point in time? She just wants to get it out and tell her side of the story. This is her way to vent because something did happen to this girl. The paperwork do details that she was attacked in this case. We have inconsistencies in the statements that's in the paperwork and what Charlamagne has said on to the general public, lying about his age to try to make it seem like he wasn't already an adult at over 21 years of age. He was 22. He lied and said he was 20 to try to make it look like, hey, I was a minor too. I wasn't even 21 to try to deceive the general public so that they would buy it. Be like, well, he was 20 and he lied about even how he got the liquor when he said, oh, I told the cops I went and got it. I had this bum go in there and get the liquor for us. If that was the case, Charlamagne could not be charged with delivering, distributing um, harmful alcohol or beverages to a underage person because he would have been underage to purchase liquor as well. 21 is the age limit in North Carolina and South Carolina. And furthermore, the paperwork states something that's even more concerning that I thought you guys should probably know about. The paperwork actually states that not just alcohol, they're saying something else was in there. They're saying things that could have done her harm to her life in these drinks. And he's pled guilty to delivering those type of drinks, which led to him getting 3 years of probation. Years. Normally, if you're just buying regular liquor and you're distributing it to a biter, the most you would get is probably a couple of months, 90 days. You know, you get 90 days out of the plea deal, probation, 90 days. First time offense, distributing to a minor. 3 years off the first offense, that tells you something else was going on. But you guys ignored everything. You ignored these signs. You guys are just all hung up on DNA proved I didn't do it. Well, if he didn't do it, I hope he didn't. I hope he didn't. I hope there's no others. I hope all of that is not the case. But I'm very disappointed in you. And when I mean you, I mean the people, the fans, how you come out and ignore everything and just come out and defend him without any type, just off fandom. It's wrong, dog. If Drake had came out and said he had drugged a woman and did all these things in there, you guys would crucify him. Crucify this guy. And you know it. DJ Academics has come out and said the same exact things. If this was him, the media, the press, everybody would have crucified him by now. Crucified him. And he's right. They would have. Because one, he's not industry, so he's not there yet. He's just made it the complex. So yeah, he definitely would be crucified. He's still a YouTube guy. So he would have been crucified. But where is everybody else? Hmm? Where are these so-called black leaders on the situation? Why are they not looking at the evidence? Why are they not looking at the court documents? Why are they not looking or listening to this woman's testimony at the StarReport? And it's back up too. The video is back up on the StarReport. So you can go there and listen to it. And listen to her. But where are the black leaders? Did Boyce Watkins say anything? Did Michael Eric Dyson say something? Where are all these black leaders that make all this money on the internet? Where they at? I don't see them. I don't see them. So I am disappointed, man. I'm reading these comments, man. I'm really disappointed in a lot of you. Now, some of these people are young and you guys are trolls, and the rest of you just sound really ridiculous. Really ridiculous. And black women, you guys, you all need to really look deeply and carefully at the people y'all representing and how they're representing you. This man has shown you countless times his lack of respect for black women. That's something that you can't just blow past. Continuously, he has said things, he has done things that make you raise an eyebrow. When people show you who they are, believe them. That's all I'm going to ask. When people show you who they are, believe them. I'm saying take a look at the paperwork, the evidence. Look over it. Actually read it. Listen to what she says. Listen to what he says. Form your own conclusions. It's your boy Carcino. I'm out.